Word for Turd podcast episode 151, Lamar, Calling Nurse Meow.
Well, very nice, Joe. You're giving a great shout out to our friends, Screaming Screenings, who are also down with Troma. They are coming out with a new character, and they basically have this movie, and so it's around this character, Nurse Meow, and all of her little sexy adventures and stuff like that, Joe.
Yeah, she's almost like the host, right? That introduces the little stories.
Yes.
How we're going to rate this, we'll start right there with stories.
Stories, plural.
Stories, there's a bunch of them.
You have Nurse Meow going against Nazis, going against hunters, going against creepy father-son duos. I will say this. I feel like the stories, because this is a different format than we've seen with other stuff, it had enough good stories. There were some that kind of, were out of place. I would have liked to see the ones that I liked a little expanded on. Like the first one, they're like hunting.
Yeah.
Nurse Meow. That was funny.
They're hunting sexy Bigfoot, Lamar. And then they encounter Nurse Meow.
Yes.
That would have been a good full-length movie, actually. The hunting of sexy Bigfoot. So we've seen a bunch of films from this group of people before, and I would say these are the most interesting story ideas that I would say, in my opinion. So I'll give them 1 point for story.
1 for story, some variety, doing something new. I liked it. Yes.
But we have to talk about some of the characters, in particular, Nurse Meow.
Are you going to do that every time?
Maybe.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm just disappointed that you're not doing it.
I don't know. Meow. Is that good enough?
That's not bad.
Fucking expert. But anyway, I think Nurse Meow is interesting enough, but I feel like I like the stories more, where you put her in different things. I think that's the thing that really captivated me. I mean, you have, what is it, Dilf? Is it Captain Dilf?
Or
Professor Dilf.
Dr.
Dilf, which is, Dad, you would like to fornicate. But they have some other characters.
Flaps.
Flaps. He's kind of, what's that character from the Frankenstein movie that's like a hunter? Igor. Something. Professor Areola. You have that person. And then you have another woman played by Alexa Weiss, that character. I think we have a varied assortment of characters. But what do you say, Joe? But what do you say?
Yeah, the characters were fun. It's like the Troma style, so everything's kind of silly and goofy and stuff. And then her as the host, I don't know if you noticed, Lamar, but as the film progressed, she ended up with less and less clothes.
That's just plot progression, Joe.
So, for characters, what are you giving it?
I'll give it a 1. I like the vignettes. I like the characters in them. What do you give it, Joe?
Yeah, I'll give it a 1.
All right, there we go.
We move on to special effects, which they had more of than ever before, right?
They have some good old intestines being pulled out. They have people getting beaten by certain instruments, Joe, which we will be talking about later. I think they've really upped that part where they're having more practical effects.
Yeah.
There's maybe a couple of on the screen type of stuff, but not as much. They have some blood shown and all that kind of stuff.
What do you rate it?
I'll give it a 1. Yeah, it wasn't
I'll give it a 1 point. They definitely upped their game as far as the special effects go, and it was just some good old fashioned gore, blood, not like super over the top, but still kind of a lot of fun. So I'll give it to them.
Yes.
Now we move on, and this is kind of going off of the previous things that we said. The overall production value of these, and they did kind of vary.
Yeah,
I would say. But even the ones that were more simplistic, they still had a style to it, or they were using a filter or whatever, right? But they definitely upped their game from some of their other stuff that we've.
Yes. Well, Joe, as an audio person, you noticed you could hear things.
Yeah.
You could hear what they're talking about. They did different takes. And then also how they shot it as well. That kind of stuff too. Shot very well. And there's one vignette, we talked about Nazis where it's supposed to be in World War II, that had the grain that you would see back in the 1920s. I liked that segment. Thought it was cool. I liked that part. So yeah, you know what? Scoring wise, I think they're just on a roll, Joe. I have to give them a 1.
I agree. I'm going to award them the 1 because we've been with these people for a long time. And they're upping their game. And that's what we like to see. So the last category, Lamar, this one is a big one.
Boy.
The comedy, because some of these are comedic.
Boy, oh boy. Let's just get it out of the way. I think their favorite weapon of choice are, can we say this on fake penises?
Yeah.
Also dildos? Yeah, that's their weapon of choice, and they use it in many ways, Joe. So I did. There were some good parts where I just laughed.
Now, one that I didn't think I was gonna like, I will say, like when it started, I was like, okay, where is this going? And then by the end of it, I was laughing. I was like, okay, that was pretty funny. Was the kind of the sword and the stone themed one? Like,
there was a specific kind of sword going into a stone, but we won't spoil it.
Yeah, so in the sword and the stone, you had to remove a sword from a stone. Well, in this movie, you had to remove something else from something else. And that's all we'll say.
Yes, that's all we'll have to say. Exactly. So,
but yeah, that one got me because I was like, oh boy, what is this? And then by the end of it, I was like, okay, you got me. So, I don't know. I thought it was overall, it was pretty funny.
They have a very X-rated cartoon that came out of nowhere. I was like, oh.
Yeah, so explain that to me, because I might have missed. They were dreaming.
Yes.
There was two girls taking a nap. They were dreaming, and then the dream sequences were just like a porno cartoon of Nurse Meow.
Yes. Very well done animation, though.
The animation was well done.
Yes.
And the ADR was well done. It had all the sounds that you would think it would.
They're up in their game, Joe. They're up in their game.
But that was interesting just to throw that in there. I wasn't expecting that either.
Yeah.
What are you giving it for comedy?
1.
Once again, I'll throw it to him. I was entertained. And it's the same thing, like if you understand the humor of the Troma style and what it's supposed to be and what these people are doing, it's entertaining. It's good time. Oh. Well, there's no need to tally, Lamar. This one ended up with a perfect 5 out of 5.
Screaming Screenings is up in their game. We love to see it. Of course, they're, with Troma. But I think we just appreciate, because we don't get too much into it. Being an independent filmmaker, you're shooting with, resources, a little bit of resources that you have, but you're getting better. I think Screaming Screening is doing that. Yeah, so that's good.
That's definitely the thing with their group is like they're just kind of going out with whatever they have. It seems and they get it done. But the fact that this one is miles better, I think, than any of the other stuff that we've seen. And Nurse Meow as a character, we want to see her again in something else.
Nurse Meow. Yeah, we've been told that there's a toxic task force coming. So, of course, that's going to be Troma related. That's going to have characters like Flaps, Professor Areola. So maybe she might be added to that as well. Or maybe she just might have another one of these again. Or maybe she might just have like an elongated movie.
Would you be in that movie with her?
I don't know. Am I sexy enough to be around Nurse Meow?
Go like this. Get some cat ears.
I don't think I don't have enough hair. I'm like one of those skinless chihuahuas.
No, they have hairless cats. You're a hairless cat? Yeah, you're a hairless cat, Lamar.
I don't know if I want to be a hairless cat.
I thought you support creatures without hair. I thought that was your thing.
I would want to be another animal. Maybe a hairless panther.
Okay.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't shit on my dreams.
Well, does that wrap this up then?
Yes.
All right. Calling Nurse Meow. Peace.
Meow.
Oh, that was awful.
Shut up.